Hello students, how are you all? So, are you ready to start this chapter which is human resources? So, let's start chapter 7 of geography human resources. In this chapter you will study about meaning of human resources, distribution of population, India, land-man ratio, government policies, growth of population, population of human resources. Meaning of human resources. The resources that exist in a country are gifts of nature. Human beings are considered an important and integral part of the ecosystem. They are engaged in useful activities. They are the most important of all resources. In fact, they are referred to as the mother of all resources. Human beings are considered an important and integral part of the ecosystem. They are endowed with intelligence, thinking, and creative skills and are the biggest and most useful resources. Human beings add value to the natural resources of a nation and convert them into wealth. The way in which various resources are used in a country depends upon the human resources. Both the quantity and quality of the population is important for the optimum utilization of natural resources. The knowledge, skill, and health of the people are important factors in the development and economic progress of a country. Do you know? UNDP United Nations Development Programme in 1990 has defined human development as the process of enlarging people's choice. Now, there is a separate department of the Indian government called HRD, Human Resource Development, which looks after the education of the people in India. Human beings is a potential resource. It is the duty of every nation to provide nutritious food, health facilities, and basic education to all the people. They should also provide training to harness the various skills of the people, suitable technology to increase production, and adequate employment opportunities. Women also play an important role in the development of a country. Education and empowerment of women will have a remarkable impact on the progress of the nation. It has rightly been said that educating one woman means educating the whole family. Distribution of population. The human resources, like the natural resources, are not evenly distributed over the surface of the earth. It is highly uneven. It is concentrated in those areas which are rich in natural resources like fertile river valley, basins, and in industrially developed regions. Polar regions, hot deserts, and thickly forested areas are not favorable for habitation, so population there is sparse. Do you know? The census is an official count of population of a country. In India, it takes place every 10 years. The last census was held in 2011. At present, the world population has crossed the 6 billion mark. China is the most populous country. India and China accounts for 38% of the world's population. 60% of the world's population is living in Asia. 40% in America, 13% in Africa, 12% in Europe, and 1% in Oceania. The density of population is the ratio between the total population and the land area. The common way of studying distribution of population is by finding out the density of population in a country or a region. It is measured as number of persons living in per square kilometer of an area. The world's density of population is about 48 persons per square kilometer. This flowchart is showing density of population. Do you know? Population data is collected through census. It is a compiled data book consisting of complete demographic statistics covering the entire population living in a country. The first complete census in India was brought out in the year 1881, and since then it is held regularly at every 10th year. India land-man ratio. India is the 7th largest country in the world in terms of geographical size or area, but it ranks as the second largest in terms of population. The total population of India is more than the combined population of Australia, Brazil, Canada, Russia, and USA. There is a remarkable distribution of population within India also. Nearly half the population lives in 5 states, that is Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, and West Bengal. Of these, Uttar Pradesh alone accounts for 1/6 of India's population. India can be grouped into 3 broad regions on the basis of density of population. States with low density of population. In certain states, the density of population is less than 100% persons per square kilometer, not only due to the physical constraints and unfavorable climate, but also due to slow economic development, poor infrastructure, and several other factors. Examples in northeastern and northwestern parts of India and western Rajasthan: Arunachal Pradesh 13, Jammu Kashmir 99, Mizoram 42, and Sikkim 76 are some states included in this category. This is India's map showing distribution of population in India in 2011. States with moderate density of population. The density of population in these states varies from 100 to 200 persons per square kilometer. These regions have undulating topography, relatively less fertile soil, and paucity of water for irrigation. Chhattisgarh 154, Madhya Pradesh 196, Nagaland 120, and Uttaranchal 159 are some states included in this category. States with high density of population. In these states, density of population is above 200 persons per square kilometer. Favorable climatic conditions, rich fertile soil, well-developed agriculture, and high level of industrialization has led to rapid urbanization and therefore brought high density of population in these states. Factors affecting distribution of population. People want to settle in those areas where food, water, and land are easily available. There are many factors affecting the distribution of population. They can be grouped into physical and economic factors. First, physical factors. Relief or topography. High mountains, rugged terrain, and rocky plateau restrict human settlements. Living conditions here are not suitable and transportation is very difficult. The mountain ranges of Andes, Himalaya, Plateau of Tibet are sparsely populated. On the other hand, plain areas like Ganga Valley in India, Huanghe in China, Nile, Mississippi, Tigris, and several other places are thickly populated. Plains are good for agriculture and industrial activity in the world. Many important cities of the world are made of plains. Climate. The hot desert and polar regions are sparsely populated. People prefer to live in regions where temperature and rainfall is moderate. Excessive heat, cold, dryness, or wetness cause discomfort. Monsoon climate regions like India and Bangladesh are thickly populated. Soil and water. Land with fertile soil and adequate water supply attracts high concentration of population. In desert areas, population is sparse. Vegetation. Equatorial forests are dense and inaccessible as compared to monsoon and coniferous forests, which are accessible. Second, economic factors. There are the economic factors. Minerals. Mineral deposits play an important role in attracting the population. The presence of iron and coal in different parts of the world has attracted huge population in these areas because they are the key minerals required for iron and steel industries. Hot and dry areas of Australian desert, Saudi Arabia, and South Africa have attracted large group of migrants due to the availability of petroleum. Similarly, Choda Nagpur Plateau have rich mineral resources attracting large industrial settlements. Industries. It provides employment and industrial labor earns a higher wage than in agricultural labor. Industrial hub attracts people from far off places. The eastern part of USA, peninsular plateau of India, and Western Europe are some of the common examples which have a large concentration of population. Similarly, the Tokyo region in Japan and Kolkata region in India are densely populated. Development of transport. People have settled down in distant places due to the development of efficient system of transport networks. The economic climate of a region coupled with good network of transport increases the mobility of people and attracts large human settlements. Third, cultural factors. The places with religious or cultural activities tends to attract more people. Saudi Arabia, Jerusalem, Vatican City, Ajmer, Amritsar, Haridwar, etc. are some examples. Government policies. Political unrest in a region or discriminatory policies of a government against a group of people have made millions of refugees. In recent years, the Persian Gulf War ethnic conflicts in Ethiopia and Sri Lanka. The breakup of Soviet Union into 15 independent nations are some of the examples which show how political unrest can lead to migration and redistribution of population. Growth of population. Population is always in a state of flux. The net change in population between two fixed periods of time is called the growth rate of population. If the growth rate increases during a given time period, the growth rate is positive, and if it decreases, the growth rate is negative. It is always expressed in percentage. The growth of population is affected by the birth rate, death rate, and by the large scale migration. It increases when birth rate is more than the death rate or when immigration is more than out migration. There was a slow and steady growth of population up to AD 1800. The total estimated population of the world was about 100 crores in 1820 AD. In AD 1970, the population was about 300 crores. In about 150 years, the total population became 3 times. That is, in AD 2000, the total population of the world was about 600 crores. Thus, there is a consistent growth of population, and today it is taking place on a rapid rate. The growth in population of India has rapidly increased during the last century. It has gone up from about 400 millions in 1961 to over a billion population in the year 2001. In these 40 years, the country has added 600 million of people, which make the growth rate alarming. It is estimated that at this rate of growth in population, the country will double its population in next 36 years. Birth rate is the number of births per 1,000 persons in a specific time. Death rate is the number of deaths per 1,000 persons in a specific time period. Every sixth person on the earth is an Indian. Population of human resource composition. The population of a country or the density of population has no link with the level of economic development of that country. Japan and Bangladesh are densely populated countries, while Japan is highly developed and Bangladesh is equally backward. Thus, it is not the number of people that matters, but it is quality that matters. Age structure, sex ratio, literacy rate, ratio of rural-urban population, working and non-working population, etc. play an important role in reflecting occupation, lifestyle, and social status of the population. Here, we will study the 3 most important attributes of human resource. First, age structure. Age structure of population is an important component of demographic structure. It refers to the number of people belonging to different age groups. Generally, the population is categorized into 3 broad age groups. People below 14 years, comprising young population. People between 15 years to 59 years make up adult population. People above 59 years and over as old population. A large number of children below 15 years and those above 59 years come under dependent population. On the other hand, the number of population on the age group of 15 to 59 years is defined as productive population, as they are biologically most reproductive and economically active. Second, sex ratio. It is a ratio between the number of females over males in a population. The sex ratio is expressed as the number of females per 1,000 males. The sex ratio is balanced in countries where death rate of boys and girls are equal. Europe has high sex ratio. The number of females is more than that of males. The sex ratio in 1901 was 972, which has declined to 933 in 2001. Sex ratio in India is declining due to several reasons. Most common reasons are preference of male child due to social, economic and religious reasons. Infant mortality is higher among the girls than among boys because of the lack of proper medical facilities. General neglect of female child during childhood is largely responsible for high female mortality rate. Prenatal sex determination tests have led to large-scale practice of female foeticide. Among the Indian states, the state of Kerala had the highest sex ratio of 1058 and Haryana has the lowest sex ratio of 861 in the year 2001. This is the India's map showing sex ratio in 2001. Third, literacy rate. The ability to read and write with certain understanding is called literacy. Literacy rate is the percentage of people who can read and write in a certain country. Literacy rate varies from country to country and from rural to urban population in the same country. It is more among male than female population, more in urban areas than in rural areas. The literacy rate of any country affects the socio-economic development of a nation. This is India's map showing India's literacy rate in 2001. Population is an asset for the country rather than a liability. It is an important indicator of socio-economic strength of a country. Population becomes human capital when there is investment made in education, health and skill development. Thus, investment in human capital yields highest return. Therefore, in the entire process of development, the focus should be on the well-being of human beings. Summing up, UNDP, United Nations Development Programme in 1990 has defined human development as the process of enlarging people's choice. India is the seventh largest country in the world in terms of geographical size or area, but it ranks as the second largest in terms of population. The hot deserts and polar regions are sparsely populated. The growth of population is affected by the birth rate, death rate, and by the large-scale migration. Among the Indian states, the state of Kerala had the highest sex ratio of 1058 and Haryana has the lowest sex ratio of 861 in 2001. Thank you class. Let's meet in the next chapter.